It starts in a quiet office just after 9 a.m. The faint hum of computers buzzes in the air, blending with the soft click of keyboards and the occasional rustle of papers. You sit at your desk, shoulders slightly tense, eyes flicking between emails, a spreadsheet, and the clock. Another day of endless to-dos stretches ahead, the kind of day that feels full but never really finished. You've worked harder than most, skipped lunches, stayed late, but somehow it feels like you're treading water. Across the room there's someone different. Call him Dave. Dave moves through the day with a kind of quiet efficiency. While others scramble through tasks, Dave seems unbothered, focused. And when the team meets with the boss, it's Dave who gets the recognition. Dave whose name is floated for promotions. You wonder, how is he doing it? But what if Dave's success isn't about talent or luck? What if it's about one strategy? A simple shift that can transform the way you work and how you're seen. Most people fall into the same trap, thinking that effort equals success. The harder you work, the more you'll achieve, or so you've been told. So you throw yourself into every task, answering emails as they come in, saying yes to every meeting, volunteering for extra work, staying late because it feels like the only way to stay ahead. But here's the truth. Not all work is created equal. Some tasks barely move the needle. Others, they're game changers. Right now, your desk might hold a coffee cup that's cooled too much, a stack of sticky notes with hastily scribbled reminders, and a project list that feels endless. But what if you could clear the clutter, not just on your desk but in your mind, and focus only on what truly matters? Here's where the game changes. The impact over effort rule. It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. The idea is simple. Focus your energy on the tasks that deliver the most visible, valuable results. Stop spinning your wheels on work that no one notices or remembers. Step 1. Identify the key impact areas. Imagine you're standing on a balcony, looking down at your office. What stands out? What gets rewarded? It's not the person who sends the most emails or attends every meeting. It's the person who solves the big problems. Take a moment to review your role. What are the projects or tasks that directly tie to the company's goals? What will your boss remember when it's time for reviews? Write those down. Everything else, it can wait. Step 2. Use the 80-20 rule. The principle is this: 20% of your efforts create 80% of your results. That means most of what you're doing isn't driving success. Picture this. You're trying to water an overgrown garden with a leaky hose. Water trickles everywhere, but the plants that need it most stay dry. Now imagine patching the holes and aiming the stream at the roots. That's the 80-20 rule in action. For example, instead of attending every meeting, focus on the ones where decisions are made. Instead of answering every email, respond only to the ones that move projects forward. Step 3. Communicate your wins. Even the most impactful work can go unnoticed if no one knows about it. Think of your efforts like a brilliant painting hung in a gallery's dark corner. You need to shine a light on it. Keep your manager updated on your progress. Use clear, simple data to show the difference you're making. Did a report you created save the team hours of work? Say so. Did your input help close a big deal? Share that. Imagine Dave's secret weapon, a weekly email that highlights key contributions without sounding boastful. It's short, to the point, and impossible to ignore. This strategy does more than streamline your work. It shifts perception. People notice results, not how long you stayed in the office or how many emails you sent. And that perception, it's what gets promotions, raises, and opportunities. Tomorrow, when you sit at your desk, try something different. Before diving into the usual frenzy, pause. Look at your tasks. Ask yourself, what will make the biggest impact today? Then focus on that. It might feel strange at first, ignoring emails or saying no to a meeting, but soon you'll notice a shift. Your work will feel clearer, more purposeful, and the recognition, it'll follow. If you don't change, nothing changes. The endless cycle of busy work, the frustration of being overlooked, it continues. But if you do, you become someone people notice. someone indispensable. And the best part? It's not about working harder. It's about doing what matters. As you sit back watching the workday wind down, there's a new confidence in you. The noise of the office fades, replaced by a quiet clarity. You've chosen impact over effort, and for the first time, you're not just working harder, you're winning. So, are you ready to try it? The choice is yours. If you found this strategy helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell for more game-changing tips. And let me know in the comments, what's one area where you can start focusing on impact over effort? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you're wondering whether it's all about career success, or if there's more to life than just climbing the corporate ladder, check out my next video, Can Money Buy Happiness, where we dive into the real connection between wealth and fulfillment. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
The room feels small, as if the walls themselves are closing in. You sit at your desk, staring at the glowing screen. The cursor blinks in a silent rhythm, taunting you with its stillness. There's a weight on your chest, a gnawing feeling that whispers, "This isn't it. You're supposed to be doing more. You're meant to be more." You try to shake it off. Maybe another cup of coffee will help. Maybe tomorrow will feel different. But deep down you know the truth. Day after day the feeling returns. It's not that you lack talent or drive. It's something else, like a puzzle with a missing piece. And yet, every once in a while, there's a spark. A fleeting moment of clarity when you know exactly what you want and feel unstoppable. But it fades, leaving you in the same place as before. Stuck. Here's the thing, you're not alone. Millions of people feel exactly like this every single day. The root of the problem lies in something so ordinary, so everyday, that most people never even notice it. Habits. Your days are filled with them, from how you brush your teeth to how you scroll endlessly on your phone. But here's the twist. Your habits aren't just routines. They're the silent architects of your life. And the problem? Most people live on autopilot, letting their habits take control, even when those habits steer them away from their goals. It's not your fault. Your brain is wired for comfort, for efficiency. It clings to patterns, even when those patterns hold you back. But what if you could flip the script? What if one small shift could rewrite the entire trajectory of your life? Picture this. It's the end of the day. The air is still and the faint hum of the refrigerator buzzes in the background. You sit down, not to check your email, not to scroll, but to reflect. You grab a notebook, its cover cool and smooth against your palm. With the pen poised above the page, you ask yourself a simple question. What went right today? The words flow slowly at first. Small victories. A kind word you said to a stranger. The task you finally crossed off your list. Then you dig deeper. What didn't go as planned? What could I have done better? This is intentional reflection, the habit that separates those who stay stuck from those who rise above. When you reflect intentionally, you're doing more than just looking back. You're rewiring your brain. Neuroscientists call it metacognition, the ability to think about your own thinking. It's like stepping outside yourself to see the bigger picture. In those quiet moments of reflection, patterns begin to emerge. You notice how certain decisions set you back or how distractions pull you away from what really matters. You see, with crystal clarity, what you need to do differently. And the best part? Reflection turns knowledge into action. It transforms lessons into growth. You don't need a fancy journal or hours of free time to get started. Just 5 minutes. Start by dedicating a specific time each day. Maybe it's right before bed, when the world has gone quiet. Or maybe it's first thing in the morning with the sun streaming through the blinds. Choose a time when you can be fully present. Then follow the 3 R's framework. 1. Review. What happened today? Write down the highlights and the lowlights. Don't sugarcoat it. 2. Reflect. Why did things unfold the way they did? What choices led you here? 3. Reset. What's one thing you'll do tomorrow to be better than you were today? That's it. Simple but powerful. But let's be honest, it won't always be easy. Some days, you'll feel too tired, too busy. the notebook will gather dust. That's when you remind yourself of the stakes. Because without reflection, you're drifting. Days blur into weeks, weeks into years, and before you know it, you're stuck in the same place, wondering why nothing ever changes. Reflection is your anchor, your compass, and it's worth fighting for. Fast forward 6 months. You sit in the same chair, but something's different. The room feels brighter, lighter. Your reflection habit has grown roots. You flip back through the pages of your notebook. Each entry is a snapshot of progress. You see the struggles you overcame, the small wins that built momentum. You see the growth, not just in what you've achieved, but in who you've become. You've learned to trust yourself, to focus on what truly matters. You've unlocked a version of yourself you always knew was there, waiting to be set free. And it all started with one small habit. The potential you've always dreamed of? It's not out of reach. It's already inside you, waiting. The only question is, will you take the first step? If you're ready to unlock it, start today. Grab a notebook, find a quiet moment, and reflect. And if you want to supercharge your growth, don't stop here. Watch One Strategy to Crush Everyone at Work. In it, you'll discover the tools to dominate your career with confidence and clarity. Your best life is within reach. It's time to claim it. The alarm blares at 6 a.m. sharp. You had promised yourself last night that this morning would be different. No more snoozing, no more excuses. But the bed is warm, the room is cold, and your body feels as if it's made of lead. You glance at the clock again, 6:07. 7 minutes of bargaining with yourself, promising that you'll work twice as hard tomorrow if you can just sleep a little longer today. You've been here before, too many times to count. The journal entries, the new planners, the motivational podcasts, they've all promised the same thing. That this time, you'd finally crack the code to self-discipline. And yet, here you are, staring at a ceiling that feels heavier than it should. It's frustrating, isn't it? To want something so badly, to picture the version of yourself who always shows up, who doesn't quit, and yet feels stuck. But here's the thing. It's not your fault. Most people don't fail at discipline because they're lazy or incapable. They fail because they're trapped in a cycle they don't even realize they're in. Today, we're going to uncover why discipline feels so out of reach, and more importantly, how to win. Discipline isn't what you think it is. For years, you might have believed it's about sheer willpower. That force inside you that can push through exhaustion, distractions, and cravings. But here's the truth. Willpower is like a battery. It drains quickly, especially when you're trying to power through a chaotic, overstimulating world. Think back to the last time you set a big goal. Maybe it was to exercise daily or wake up earlier. At first, you felt a surge of excitement. You envisioned the end result, the fitter, more productive, more confident version of yourself. But by week 2, reality set in. The early mornings were brutal, the gym felt intimidating, and the instant gratification of hitting snooze or scrolling on your phone won every time. Most people fail at discipline because they don't understand this. Discipline isn't about force. It's about design. When discipline slips, it's rarely a quiet thing. Guilt creeps in, whispering that you're weak, that you'll never figure it out. You replay every failed attempt like a broken record. The weight of shame settles in your chest, making it harder to breathe, let alone try again. And then there's the all-or-nothing thinking. You miss one day at the gym, and suddenly, the whole week feels ruined. Why even bother? You promise to start fresh next Monday, but deep down, you're bracing for another cycle of false starts. The real enemy of discipline isn't laziness. It's the invisible traps in your life. Decision fatigue. Every choice you make throughout the day chips away at your ability to make the next one. By evening, even deciding what to eat for dinner feels exhausting. Vague goals. Get fit or be more productive. Sound nice, but they lack direction. Without clarity, your brain doesn't know where to start. Negative reinforcement. If every attempt at discipline feels like punishment, why would your brain want to keep trying? Imagine this. Instead of focusing on the goal itself, you start focusing on who you want to be. Not, I need to work out, but I'm someone who moves my body every day. Not I have to write, but I'm a writer. The shift is subtle but powerful. Discipline becomes less about tasks and more about identity. Think of it like planting seeds. At first, nothing seems to happen, but with consistent effort, roots form. Eventually, growth becomes visible. Discipline is the same. Small actions compound over time. Your environment matters more than you think. If your phone is the first thing you see in the morning, it's no wonder you're stuck in a scroll loop before breakfast. Set your workout clothes out the night before. Delete the apps that steal your attention. Simplify your choices so the path to action feels inevitable. Start small, uncomfortably small. Want to read more? Commit to 1 page a day. Want to run? Lace up your shoes and step outside for 5 minutes. Small wins build confidence, and confidence builds momentum. Goals give you direction, but systems create progress. Instead of aiming to lose 20 pounds, design a system where you meal prep every Sunday and schedule 3 workouts a week. Systems automate discipline, reducing the need for constant decision-making. Find someone who will hold you to your word. Whether it's a friend, a coach, or an online community, accountability creates pressure to stay consistent. But don't forget to reward yourself. Celebrate the milestones, no matter how small. Rewards don't have to be elaborate. Sometimes the satisfaction of checking off a habit tracker is enough. Here's the truth. You will slip up. Everyone does. The key is what you do next. Instead of spiraling, practice self-compassion. Treat yourself like you would a friend who's struggling. A missed workout doesn't erase the progress you've made. Pick up where you left off. Remember, discipline isn't about never falling. It's about learning how to get back up, over and over again. Here's what you need to remember. Discipline is a skill, not a gift. It's not reserved for the naturally motivated or the superhumanly productive. It's built, brick by brick, through intentional choices and systems that support your success. So, where do you start? Right here, right now. Choose one small action and commit to it. Let that action grow roots. Your future self is waiting. Are you ready to meet them?